What's up, guys? We'll go to GotenFreecss. We are back at it with more Made in Abyss season 2. Last episode was the luring, and we Riko led the charge in fighting this thing, and we unlocked Prushka after the guy at the workshop worked on it and unlocked her full potential. And now we have an even deeper connection with Prushka, and now Reg even has an upgrade as a result of it, as Bondrew said back in the movie that White Whistle can fully unlock the true potential of a relic, as Reg is a relic, and he had a whole transformation with the color of his metal changing. But we still have the pressing issue as far as the relationship with Nanachi and Baloff and the whole bartering of that, because we absolutely cannot lose body parts of hers, and Welko is mixed into this now since Riko brought her out of the pit where she was at, governing all the little shadows. And one of the three sages told us after we defeated the monster that if we could get a piece of Fapata, whether it's hair or whatever, then we could definitely use that. It would be worth enough to get us to be able to trade that for Nanachi, get her back part of our team, because we gotta have our trio. So Reg has gone back to see Fapata, and while we're waiting for Reg to come back, Welko is about to reveal to us the second part of the story after they arrived here at the 6th layer, which would be very interesting to see how Fapata, how the little girl became Fapata, as far as being the princess of the hollows, and why Welko was in the pit in the first place, besides what she already told us in prior episodes. So without further ado, let's get into episode 7. Back to this, starting it off with the flashback. Right, exactly. That's what Reg had learned from the interference unit. Right, there are other interference units, so we get to see maybe what happened to the interference units as well. Right, a far cooler environment. You ain't even seen the big dragon one. Oh, that's a good, thank you for explaining that, because that's a good question. How are you able to get down here if you didn't have a White Whistle, but this hollow just happened to have one? Wow, that's really crazy, man. They experimented. It just tried to test and see. Exactly. Gotta keep pushing forward, man. It's interesting because Wazukan is very charismatic, but for those who have been lost or whatever, or injured, he just kind of moves on, like how he did with the person that first felt the effects at the beginning, how he was kind of hurt. Oh, okay, interesting. IRUMYUUI, yes, he's obsessive. This is actually interesting to see the little inferences that we see of how they are later. Wow. So because her body cannot bear a child, she doesn't get to put on the ink. Oh, it's a little thing. Does that thing really look that dangerous? I mean, come on. I mean, I'll take that back. I've seen little buddy things done worse. Yep. You gonna take it. You got a little thing. You got a thing for that, man. She's partial. She don't want to see things get mistreated. Belov's trying to find insight in everything, man. Smart. Nope, can't drink that one. Right. We have to experiment it with somebody. Somebody's gonna have to be the test. Let's see, this is our last hope. The only hope is this one, so it's gotta work. Right. As long as you got water, you know if you could get water from someplace, clean, drinkable water, we straight. We straight. We can advance from there because we could get food as we seen. Is that so? Wow, she said that's tough. So they started treating her different? Yeah. Curse one born of the pit. Interesting. So they believed that she came from the pit and that she was cursed. So the whole reason that she came back here is because they're in their eyes, they're sending her back to the pit. Aw. Doesn't want to be thrown away. If Velko's not gonna throw you away, she very wants. She just wants Velko. She wants her friend. You're like her older sister, I guess. But a very warm darkness. Interesting choice of words there, Velko. Look at that thing. Y'all finna be feasting tonight. Oh. Wow. And just like that, it's gone. That's crazy. And Belov's just overseeing, just monitoring all of this. Whoa. What happened with her between the night? What the hell? Whoa, that's nasty. What's going on? Everybody has the same symptoms. Oh my God. What happened? What was the catalyst for them to start developing into the hollows? From the water. Wow. So their water came from a corpse, and that's what started to make them come into hollows. So it wasn't necessarily the water, it's the source that the water came from that corrupted them. And that's the little egg that we saw in the last episode. Exactly. No longer have a safe water hole. Oh man. Truly tough spot, because if we ain't got water, then we can't do nothing. Exactly. If we don't have water, we're gonna die. Oh, the shape of wishes. The cradle of desire, the name of the... If you wish to make use of a juvenile, it's preferable. I think I know which juvenile we're about to use. It's sad. Oh man, the tragedy, man. This show is full of tragedy, bro. All these kids just being exposed to tragedy, experiencing it. It's tough to watch somebody that you love, that you deeply care about hurting. Okay. That kid will be our salvation, man. The eeriness of that statement, how he looked and everything. But like she said, he's the prophet. He has the inkling for this kind of stuff. Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's scary, bro. That look alone is scary. It looks like he's sensitive, but at the same time, he's afraid. Wow. And now she's good. And infused with her. Interesting. Yes. Exactly. Is her wish the reason for the village? Was her wish like to turn everybody into hollows? Oh wow, that's creepy. Man, that's creepy. The way she looked at her. Yeah. So all of them have, so based on what's happened with IRUMYUUI and the wish granted egg, so all of them have an egg inside of them. What? That was her wish. That's so sad. That is so sad. That's crazy. Because the whole time she wasn't being able to bear. She wasn't able to bear, and now she's there. Her wish was to be able to bear a kid. Wow. The child lived and died in one day. Oh, wow. And she just keeps on wishing and wishing for a baby. Oh my gosh. She keeps wishing for a baby to feel her wish. Because she wants to be back with her village, kind of. The attachment to her village. Made in depression, man. I swear. Oh man, I don't even know how this compares to like the movie, like the tragedy in the movie, and now this, like, this is pretty bad. Oh my gosh. It's so delicious that she's freaking crying. But what is she eating? Is the question. Oh no. This, yeah. Oh no. This man. That kid saved everyone. No. No way. He cooked her and fed her to everybody in the village to eat. Oh my gosh. And that's how we get the village. Her wish. Everybody is fulfilling their own wish. And it makes them look how they look. Wow. Great episode. So this is the first part of our flashback as far as the, official establishment of the village. This whole episode was a flashback, just like how the first half of the first episode was. So immediately they established a relationship with the interference units there because they both wanted to gather information from one another. And then they started to try and establish a foothold in this place, and they were just learning about the dangers of this place. They got here thinking it was the Golden City, but it's not as golden as they thought it would be, because we have a multitude of dangers here. First, their goal was to find water. They had they only had one source left out of all the ones that they checked, and it had clean, serviceable water, drinkable water that they brought back to the village, and it seemed like everything was going good until it wasn't. And all during this time, the relationship between Riko and Irumyuu, it continues to develop, and she opens up to Riko talking about her past and how she was abandoned due to the fact that she couldn't bear and she couldn't have the tattoos that everybody else in the village has, because they're capable of bearing fruit. And because of that, they believe that she was from the abyss and that she was cursed by the abyss. So their mindset was to send her back. And she doesn't want Riko to be a replacement for her mother. She wants her to be a replacement. She just wants her to be Riko. She wants her to be her friend and her supporter, because she just simply doesn't want to be alone anymore, because she doesn't have her mother. She doesn't have her brothers. They all think she's a curse. But as it starts with Irumyuu and other people at the same time overnight, with the first symptom of diarrhea, we learned that our water source was not what we thought it was. It actually comes from a creature. The whole cave type thing is a creature, and is secreting these little enzymes that are coming into us and kind of killing us. It's killing us, turning us kind of to stone. And now it's affecting everybody in the village because we've all taken in the water, and this comes from the water. But we're faced with that dilemma because we need the water to survive, but at the same time, the water is killing us at the same time. So it's a course for death either way. But we did come across the Cradle of Desire. It's a wish-bearing type of ore rock type hybrid. The interference units tell us about it. They inform us, and they also say that it would be preferable if the wish came from an infant, because it doesn't do well with adults. So of course, the infant that we choose is Irumyuu. Riko gives the Cradle of Desire to Irumyuu in an attempt to grant her wish to make her better. She wants Irumyuu to get better. She doesn't want her to be gone, and it actually does work. It works overnight. She doesn't feel any ailments or pain as far as from the effects of her transformation, but we have yet to see the side effects, and that is turning her into a hollow, though it does everybody else, as we see in the village currently today, according to their desires. It forms itself. You form yourself to your desires, and Irumyuu's desire forms her to be a bearer. She bears all these creatures because of her shame and her regretfulness and abandonment due to the fact that she couldn't bear children in the first place. So her wish is to bear a child, and she continues to bear these childs, but they all died just about the day after or days after she bears them, and it's causing her even more pain than she had before she even made her wish. Which really brings into question, is it really granting your desires, or is it just creating a nightmare for you instead? And this is all prompted by Wazukan, which is very interesting. Riko is already, we already know the backstory that he's like the prophet, that he knows when things are gonna come into play. He looked at her creepily with eyes, confident that he knew that Irumyuu would be the one that would save everybody in the village, and it turned out that it would be in a twisted way. The village was in dire straits. Seems like it was just inevitable that everybody in the village was gonna die. It started to happen to Riko. She started developing the symptoms, and she started her transformation until she received some type of food that was so good that it made her cry. She goes out to meet Wazukan to talk to him about what he gave her last night, because she saw him vividly, just for a quick glimpse of a second, and she opened her eyes, and she's horrified when he tells her that it was Irumyuu, that he fed Irumyuu to everybody across the village. It actually came true what he said, that she would save them all because she became sustenance for them all. It's real interesting because now it actually provides that base as far as everybody changing it to hollows to get be the form of their own desires, because they all have that in them now, because they've all taken in a piece of IRUMYUUI. It's a really tragic story, but this series obviously is nothing new. The tragic stories is just like one on top of another, and they keep on upping the ante on it. It's sad, man. In the present, they always find a way to flip on the backstories and turn it into more so of a positive theme. So I'm interested to see, once Riko fully understands the grasp of the story, how will she react to it, and what type of moves will she make towards it. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought of this episode in the comments below. Leave a like if you liked the video. And with that, I'm David. You guys have a great one. Peace.